Ryan Jarrell here for Fight Bananas. And you know my next guest, Adam Fugitt, who will be back in action February the 22nd at UFC Seattle when he takes on Billy Goff. Adam, how you doing?
Doing good, man. Just taking it one day at a time.
Well, always nice to chat with you. Happy to be back on the show. We talked a little bit before we started here, but obviously the original opponent was Islam Dulatov. That fight was canceled. Now you get Billy Goff on fairly short notice. How does this fight different now, right? Preparing for one guy versus getting someone very different.
Oh, it kind of takes all your pre-planned stuff out of there, and you kind of just got to go in there and not a lot of time to really come up with anything. It's a fight at this point, and Billy is he's an in-your-face kind of fighter, and a slip and rip kind of guy, and where my other opponent was more of a blitz heavy, try to overwhelm you type. So yeah, the game plan for Islam has definitely changed. That now, we got to go in there and we got to fight Billy, which
Mm.
isn't he thrives in that atmosphere, so that's kind of coming into his territory.
Does a win over Billy, does it mean more than beating Islam? Obviously, we saw that fight of the night that Billy had with Trey Waters. Is it kind of do a little bit more for you in the division to beat Billy?
I haven't really given any of the thought much of a thought, to be honest. I got thrown the name, and you just you drop what you had planned, and you pick up the pieces, and you get moving in the right direction, and that's kind of what we're doing here. I know that Billy's game, and he's in there, um, trying to put on a performance of a night and get a bonus. And I'm gonna have to meet him head on, and hopefully that causes some fireworks, and we can get out of there with a fight of the night.
It's definitely going to be a fun one, man. Excited for this fight. I did get a chance to talk to Billy when this fight was announced. He told me that he really wanted to fight at the Apex, and obviously you wanted to keep your fight at UFC Seattle. Can you kind of tell me like how that all came about? Because I know he kind of pushed back initially, but ultimately you guys are fighting in Seattle.
Right. Yeah, my fight fell through. I got the call. It told me, hey, we got a replacement. Billy Goff's the name. And I was like, okay. Just assume, okay, we're on for Seattle. I'm all set up to make my weight cut for UFC Seattle. And then word came back that he wanted to fight in the Apex, and so I just kind of consulted with the PI and my dietitian there, and our whole program was based on making it on UFC Seattle, and we I kind of made that stand. I was just like, we're set up for this. I get that it's a week longer for him, but protocols for my diet and making the weight. That's I want to make sure I meet those terms. So that was kind of my stance on it. It just I don't know, make it make sense to me.
Yeah, I mean, and fighting in front of fans too. I know a lot of guys prefer that. It kind of gets them even more amped up and, in their zone. Is that something else that, adds to you and just your performance on fight night, or do you like fighting in the Apex?
I don't mind fighting in the Apex at all. That being said, I do have, family and friends and coming out for this one and bought tickets, and everything. So I would have been a little, upset if I had to, kind of spoil their trip as well. But it all played out in the end. But as far as whether I definitely want to get that monkey off my back and get the W with some fans behind me. I've gotten two victories in the Apex. I want to go get a win in the arena.
Yeah, no doubt. That makes sense to me, man. And it's been way too long since we've seen you fight last. June of 2024. What's the holdup? Like, why didn't you get a fight before now?
There was a back in the fall. There was a potential fight, and I ended up with getting some drop foot. So I'm not sure if I'm supposed to say that out loud or whatever. But yeah, I had a little bit of a injury in my calf, and just wasn't allowing me to really perform the way I wanted to perform.
Wow. Okay. What kind of rehabilitation? What did you have to do to get back to 100%?
So I I sit underneath this laser. I use this PEMF machine on it. I just doing all these things, massage, and then just obviously giving it some time to kind of not take abuse, I guess you could say. Stop taking the checking the leg kicks, stop throwing the kick with it, you know. So just give it a little bit of time, and it seems like it's all good now. So
Do you know how this injury happened? Was it just from training and a lot of abuse on that leg?
I think it was definitely from the fight in June. Just a little bit of a nerve damage, I guess, in there or whatnot from the fight in June. I didn't think it was that bad, and then started kind of gearing up because we were thinking a fight was going to happen, and took a couple leg kicks and some sparring, and so, oh, this isn't good. I can't really move the way I want to move off of it.
So were you able to put pressure on the leg? Like were you walking normal?
As long as I kept pressure down on it, it was fine. As soon as I went to lift my heel up, the foot would just float.
Ooh, it doesn't sound fun.
Yeah, it just kind of went to sleep, you know, and so you're risking yourself getting a rolled ankle or a sprained ankle, you know, because you don't really have that control to flex it. So,
Did you
but
have
that's in the
any?
past.
Yeah, no doubt, definitely. Got the fight now. We're excited to see you back in there. Did you have any imaging done? Like, did you have an MRI or anything like that?
No, no, I didn't. I probably should have, but I just, like I said, I did that, the other things, the alternatives, and I gave it some time. And unfortunately, that's what led to me being so much time off.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, again, we're excited to see you back in there, man. As far as, things you're doing to occupy your time when you can't train, like what are you doing these days? Like what hobbies do you have or what shows are you watching? Tell me a little bit about the life of Adam Fugitt outside of MMA.
Well, shoot. Have you seen the show Landman?
Oh, that's my favorite show on TV right now.
Hey, there
Yep.
we go. Yeah, so we watched all of that and enjoyed that series. That was fun. Little wild, a little crazy. Kind
Yeah.
of, for some reason, it motivates me, or not motivates me. It brings out this side. I want to go pump some oil. I don't get it. Like I don't really want to do that.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah.
They
Yeah,
have to be having a season two of that.
oh yeah,
I made a post about it too. That's the best show on TV. Billy Bob, he unbelievable
yeah.
performance.
Yeah, he did great. A little nostalgia too. Gosh dang it, I should know her name, but the
Demi
mom,
Moore. Demi Moore.
Demi Moore is there as
Yeah.
well, and it looks like they killed John Hamm off. From my perspective, I don't
Yeah.
know if that's true or not. Is Demi gonna be in the series a little bit more next season, and then Billy Bob, the lady that plays Billy Bob's wife in there,
Ali Larter.
yeah, Allie. Uh, that was just nostalgia for me. It took me back to Varsity Blues, one of those
Whipped
old
cream
high school.
bikini.
Yes, whipped cream bikini. There you go.
That's an all-time
uh,
classic, man. That brings me right back. Yeah, my wife's not home right now, so I don't have to worry about it. I don't know what it's like for you, but yeah,
uh,
I mean, great cast. I'm glad you said that.
yeah.
Any other series that you've been watching that can compare to Landman?
Oh shoot, nothing really off the top of my head. I have been doing this thing, and I keep getting told that I need to film this and put it out there on the interwebs, the internet, and but I've been trying to make 2 meals a week, random meals that I find off of Pinterest or Instagram or whatever, and I've been trying to cook those, and I've had some success, with it. Not, I can't say I've had any true screw ups, haven't burnt anything or set the kitchen on fire, but so I've been having fun with that, and just really enjoying the Arizona heat as well.
Okay, so you're a pretty good cook then.
I, I didn't realize at the beginning, but I guess it's just trying, and you find a recipe and you go after it. So I'm gonna pat myself on the back and say I can cook now.
Okay, I love it. How many grams of protein do you consume during fight camp? Like, do you try and stick to a certain range?
Honestly, my dietitian Dawn, she'd probably be upset with me on this. No, I don't actually. Yeah, I haven't been keeping track really.
Okay. What's your weight at today?
I weigh 195.
Okay. Is that normal for this far out from a fight?
Yeah, so I walked into last fight week at basically 195. I started out the week there, full of water, hydration's key, and the electrolytes all electrolyted up as well. So we'll start pulling those out in fight week, and the weight will make its descent.
Okay. And you're 36 years old now, Adam. Where do you feel like you're at in your career? Like how many more fights do you think we're going to see out of you? Like what are the goals now moving forward? Obviously a win over Billy is first and foremost, but just when you look forward, I'm sure you have those goals.
Through the, through basically just the sports psychology and stuff, I've just been trying to lock in one day at a time, not try to get too high, not try to get too low, just take day by day. And I think that's kind of how I'm going to go with my career as well. Is it's one fight at a time, and one moment at a time as far as those go. Obviously, I want to keep climbing the rankings and push for as high as I can go. If you're not in it to potentially push for that title, then what are you doing here? Always find something else to pay the bills. Something that's a little less brutal to pay the bills. So I'm just enjoying the moment, enjoying the ride, and you know, it'd be cool to hit something like I don't know, 10 fights in the UFC. Let's put that out there as a potential dream or a goal is 10 fights in the UFC.
Well, you're 2-2 right now in the UFC, if I'm not mistaken. What does your current contract look like?
So I just got my new contract, and it's got I believe it's got another 4 fights on it.
Perfect. That's great. Are you happy with
Yeah,
the money that they're paying you and everything?
yeah. I mean, again, it's real easy to get caught up in the money thing, but this is a true blessing, of a life to be able to have this opportunity to get on the stage and perform in front of the world.
Do you feel like you're still in your prime though, right? Like 36 is not old. You
Right.
look especially in the weight class that you're at, like a lot of guys that are at the top of the division are right in their mid 30s. Like, do you feel like you're still in your prime? Like those good years are still ahead of you.
100%. I don't feel, I definitely know I'm smarter, more tactful at this age than I was, at say 25 or 26. So I feel like I'm still improving as a fighter, and with that comes me. I still feel like I'm in my prime. I feel like um, I haven't felt I haven't felt anything falling off the edge. Like, oh, I can't recover here. I can't keep up with these young guys, or I don't feel like that at all. I feel like 36 is just a number, and every year comes a new one, and I'm kind of lost in time right now.
I talked with Billy a little bit about like the age disparity between the two of you. He's 26. Do you feel like your experience might be the difference in this fight?
Hard to say. He's a game fighter. I honestly don't think so. I don't think that my experience outweighs his. He's a game fighter. He knows how to push himself to that limit, and in turn push his opponent to those breaking limits. So, I think he's mentally tough, mentally strong. He's been shown to take a good shot and recover, pretty quickly in there, and then put people away. So he's a dangerous guy. Definitely don't want to get caught up playing, into his game, but you're also going to have to meet him there because he's going to force that issue.
Yeah, there's no doubt. We saw that in his last fight for sure too. In Arizona right now, like, do you have anyone that can kind of replicate him? Are you really going as hard as Billy likes to go, like in training? Obviously, you want to get to the fight healthy, but who have you had to kind of mimic his style?
Right. Well, I got probably one of the best welterweights that isn't signed to the UFC. Who we got to get him in there. Ray H2O Waters. He's my main training partner. Him and Kelvin Gastelum. And yeah, man, those guys push me every day. We got a great competition in the room, and I'm truly thankful for both of them.
Yeah, Kelvin Gastelum. That's a pretty good guy to have pushing you as well. How's he looking these days?
Man, Calvin's looking good. The guy is so deceptively athletic and quick, and you know, yeah, you got to watch out when you're in there sparring with him. You catch you off guard. So,
How heavy does he get?
I think he's around 210 right now.
Okay, yeah, because I always thought that he got kind of closer to 220, but you would know better than I. He looks very like he's thick, but it's muscle. Like he's not like out of shape by any stretch of the imagination. He's just a big rugged guy.
Right. Yeah. No, he definitely, he carries it well, but then again, I haven't been on there on the scale with him, so I say 210, maybe he's 220.
Okay, fair enough. As far as UFC Seattle, what is the travel like for you to get there? Do you already have the flight booked and when you're going to be there and all that?
I should be there on Tuesday. Yeah.
It's right around the corner. Who will you have in your corner come fight night?
Coach Chaw, Eddie Chaw, Santino DeFranco, and then Jamison White will be joining the corner this time too.
And I don't know what kind of music you like, Adam, but Seattle, it brings me right back to like, pre-high school for me, like where like the grunge era was really big. I really like Chris Cornell and Soundgarden. That would be an amazing band to pick a song and walk out to. Like, have you considered that, or do you have a song that you already picked for the walkout?
I mean, I'm just a creature of habit. I think I've walked out to Bubba Sparks' Deliverance for the last, decade. So we're gonna keep rolling with that. I don't even play it in camp anymore because it just when it hits, it kind of sends me into that moment of okay, here we are, let's go do this thing.
Has it been that long?
It feels like it.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, I've heard you walk out to that a couple times. I guess I didn't realize that it was every fight for that long. That's pretty cool. Well, when you find something you like, you stick to it.
Yeah, and one of these days, I hope to have a big enough name for myself or be popular enough with the UFC fans that maybe I'll get like a thunderclap when I'm walking out. Maybe the fans will give me one of those to the music. So that's the hope.
That's awesome, man. We talked a little bit, obviously, about Billy, what he brings to the table. What did you think overall of the performance against Trey Waters? Did you take anything from it?
It was a really close fight, and I think it could have went either way. Um, I honestly, again, we talked about his resilience, his ability to overcome a shot. It kind of reminds me of a zombie or more Tony Ferguson, those kind of guys. Like I don't think you can, not that Trey did this, but thinking of some of his other fights as well. If you do get that knockdown, you can't over pursue. You can't rush in there looking for the finish because he's one of those guys. He's got 9 lives. And I think that in order to really kind of get a finish on him, you're gonna have to hurt him multiple times in a fight. If that's possible. Again, he's really resilient, able to, obviously has good cardio. He's gonna push it. So, not, I'm gonna sting him and don't get overzealous because you're gonna end up in his game plan if you do.
Do you think it's more likely that you win the decision or finish him?
I definitely think that this fight is got fight of the night written on it for a brutal decision, but that's what it seems like. He seems like somebody that's very hard to finish. Um, but I'm gonna be doing my damnedest to do it.
If you were to finish him, do you think it would be more likely to do it via strikes or submission?
I think it's gonna come in strikes. He's got a little bit that I've dug on him. He's got some wrestling background. He seems very confident in his wrestling. And I wouldn't be surprised also if he's one of those guys that have a black belt, in some kind of gi.
Mhm.
I haven't checked that much into it, but he looks like one of those guys that his grappling is pretty sound.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And again, like I've said earlier, I love this fight. It really does have potentially fight of the night written all over it. Do you think that there's a high probability, Adam, that the canvas could be painted with blood from the both of you come the end of the night?
Well, I haven't heard this or not. I don't think we're using the new gloves. I think we're back to the old ones, right?
I haven't heard that. I'm not sure.
No. Okay. I don't know if they went back to the old gloves or not. I know they did for John Jones's card if they're still doing that. But those new gloves seem to they gave me my first cut ever, so those new gloves seem like they were cutting people left and right. If we were wearing those, and I'm guessing there's a high probability of it.
Okay, fair enough. What do you think of the new Venom fight gear, the kits? Do you like it?
Um, well, I had my last Venom fight kit was back in June. I haven't really I guess I've seen the coaches fight kits at the gym a little bit. They kind of look fuzzy. I don't know how I feel about that. They look like they have those everything else before was kind of like hidden in the fabric, and now it seems like the fabric kind of pops with the decals and stuff, and it's not really my style, but some people
Okay.
like that.
You have to let me know what you think whenever we talk next. Once you get your hands on it and you get a chance to try them on and whatnot. I do want to ask you a little bit about the division right now. Obviously, Bilal is the champion. He was supposed to be fighting Shavkat, but that hasn't been materialized just yet. When that fight does happen, do you think
Mhm.
we're going to have a new champion, or do you think Bilal holds on?
Honestly, if you would have asked me this before Shavkat fought Gary, I would have said that I think that Shavkat beats Bilal. But seeing that Gary fight, I think that Bilal has a good chance of taking him down and putting him on his back and holding him down, and or those two styles cancel each other out because they're kind of similar, and then we see those guys, stuck in a striking match, and um, I think I'd have to give it to Bilal there as well. He seems like he's had to kind of be put in that position a little more than Shavkat has, where Shavkat is just basically coming in and taking people down and submitted them.
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way. It'll be interesting to see what actually does happen when that fight is scheduled. JDM and Leon Edwards is booked as well. Give me a prediction for that fight.
Nothing against the ex champ at all, but I've been kind of watching and on the JDM train for a good minute now. I think that honestly, if he goes in there and has a great performance against Leon, he might jump Shavkat for that next title shot. That's just kind of my feelings on it. He's got the striking for sure.
Yeah, he's a stud, man. One last question. I wanted to get your take on some of these younger up and comers that are getting a lot of hype right now. Guys like Michael Morales, Pratas. Which one of those guys, or is there someone else that you feel like is the best out of all of these, like the youth movement, the guys that have cracked the top 15?
I mean, Pratos is he's an interesting fighter for sure. Um, I I love this style. I'm gonna try to channel a little bit of that in my next fight. But I think I think Morales is, after being in there with him, watching his progression over these last few fights, um, I could see him making his way up, potentially to the title. He has all the abilities, the skills. He's got the look. I definitely think that he could do it.
He seems to be maybe a little bit more well-rounded, right?
hmm
Yeah.
I definitely think so. It sounds like he's also got himself into some different rooms for training camps. Like he was with Bilal, I think, before he fought Magny. So, he's putting himself in uncomfortable environments, which is only going to make himself better. He's going to grow from that.
Yeah.
But those guys down there in Brazil, the fighting nerds guys, they are look. That's a hot team for sure.
Would you ever smoke a cigarette post weigh-ins like Prat does?
Not my thing, man. Not my thing.
Yeah. I couldn't believe it when I heard that. Have you ever smoked a cigarette when you were younger?
I did one time. Yep.
Yeah. last time I smoked a cigarette, it was a very, very long time I proceeded to projectile vomit everywhere. So I was like, yeah, this isn't for me.
Yeah, no. Yep. It wasn't for me either.
Fair enough, Adam. Well, always a great time chatting with you, man. Can't wait to see you back in there. February 22nd is right around the corner, UFC Seattle. Before we officially do sign off, man, I want to give you the floor. Anything you want to plug, any sponsors you have, anyone you want to thank? The floor is yours.
All right, thank you so much. Shout out to Sheath Underwear, hooking it up, getting some more of those here soon. Um, Be Jolly, gosh, I'm screwing this up. Be Jolly ointments, I believe it is, or it's Thai liniment and CBD cream. He hit me up and sent me some product, and I've used Thai liniment, throughout my Thai boxing career, my or point of my career, and love that. But this product is it takes it to a whole nother level. It's got CBD in there as well, and just the product's freaking awesome. So if you're looking for some Thai liniment or some CBD cream for your bumps and bruises, definitely go check out Be Jolly. They're awesome. He's awesome. Great product. Other than that, you can find me on my Instagram, and I'll see you guys in Seattle.